The same manufacturer. It's porcelain, but carcass made of metal and bronze. Chandelier. On the table of glassware, also production of glass manufacture of Saint Petersburg. Authentic pieces from this is not all times from the 18th century. So all this is also little parts. So on this side, on mantelpiece, you can see those old elements, decorative items, decorative vases, candlesticks, clock. This is production of several porcelain manufacturer of France.
Okay.
So this was one of the leading manufacturers in Europe by that time. So it's a lot of porcelain from these manufacturers were also in the palaces of royal families of Saint Petersburg. Portrait of Catherine the Great.
Okay.
She is represented as a lawgiver, so with a scepter in her hand, traditional attribute of monarch power. Lots of symbols, eagle over there, symbol of power, books, symbol of enlightenment, and the sculpture representing kind of justice with scale.
Okay.
So she was kind of very powerful woman in the Russian history. So this beautiful piece of porcelain, two candelabras on this side, production of Meissen porcelain manufacturer. Another leading manufacturer in Europe, from Germany. So we passed all the official staterooms. This was originally a concert hall.
Okay.
So it's like a theater it was used, and in the Soviet times it was used mostly as a cinema.
Cinema.
Yeah, because Soviet Republic wanted to stress that this palace nationalized and belonged to all nations. They can be used by everyone. So they sold tickets and sold movies. But it didn't last too long, maybe for 1 year, and then it was just closed. And now it's a lecture hall. This part of the palace was used as the living quarters for the members of the imperial family. It's like a private apartment. It depends on who lives here, because the design was changed sometimes. Here is the portrait of Nicholas I. Before he took the throne, Grand Duke Nicholas. So he's one of the grandsons of Catherine the Great. And these rooms were given to his daughter, Olga. Olga's wings for her wedding. So this style of these rooms is considered to be a neoclassical style. So the silk on the walls usually matched to the silk which is on the curtains and the furniture. Again, there is a stove here. The typical kind of Delt style tiles. But here also the fireplace is here. Interesting piece of furniture, cupboard decorated with panels made in bull technique.
Okay.
Bull was French masters who made this. You know, the brown is the tortoise shells, and those decorative details made of brass. So it inlaid tortoise shells and gilded brass. It's wood. It was very popular, very expensive furniture.
Oh yeah.
In this room, portrait of the daughter of Nicholas I, Olga Nikolaevna Romanova, Grand Duchess. So she was, when she got married, she got this room, so the wedding gift from her father. You probably don't see much furniture, but it was used by that time. But different sitting rooms were organized like this. They can have maybe lunch or dinner party, or like maybe coffee or tea. Another daughter of Nicholas I, Alexandra Nikolaevna Romanova, she suffered tuberculosis. So she died very young, 19 years old, because tuberculosis was very hard to cure by that time. There was no medicine, they didn't have antibiotics by that time like we have now.
Yes.
But it was very difficult. So they suffered this kind of disease, so it was most likely they died. So she was pregnant also, she baby miscarriage. It's a big tragedy for the Tsar Nicholas I, so, but her portrait was always here, so it's young and beautiful. Place here. On the table, you can see clock rotator. It's a very interesting piece of kind of mechanisms.
In the trophy, on top of the snake?
Yeah, the snake, tongue of the snake is a kind of the marker, and the two discs rotating. One lower disc shows hours, upper disc shows minutes. So it's like a clock rotator. So for example, it's now showing the time like 11:45, for example. 11 o'clock on the
is this clock also?
Minutes, but it's not correct time, but So it's not more functional. They don't set up making clock. Lots of clocks. We thought they were like a rare mechanisms created by masters of clock. On the wall, large shape clock. That's just mostly for decoration they use. On the mantelpiece, very interesting clock. On the table, also clock with some kind of like an artwork with cupids, with other elements of decorations. So there was another sitting room. You noted that silk which was used for upholstery walls and furniture, and on the curves all matching. But every room has different design.
Yeah.
Yes, every room.
And two more rooms in this palace we can see they were on the side of the emperor. So they belong to the emperor. And particularly the design of this room was created for the Emperor Paul I. So in the 18th century, doctors recommended to sleep half sitting, half lying, with lots of pillows around. That's why probably small bed was enough for that. They had separated bedrooms for the emperor and the empress. So Paul was here sleeping, and also this room was called the crown room.
Crown room.
Crown room because during the parties or the receptions, Paul placed his crown on this table. That's why it's called crown room. On the walls, you can see silk painted in watercolors, and the subject of this painting represents process of making porcelain in China, which was very unusual because process of making porcelain was always kept in secret. They didn't want that the other country know how to do it.
Yeah.
So, but this was here shown off from the first to the last step. And the interesting question, can you guess what is this furniture, this piece of furniture? It's a toilet. Chair. Chair. It can be lifted, and inside was a bucket.
Okay.
It was used as a toilet chair. Even if in Peterhof there's lots of water, I mentioned 1 ton of water per second used for fountains.
Yeah.
The first water closets were established in the lower part, where the water runs out to the Gulf of Finland. But here in the upper kind of floors, they used just this kind of toilet chair in the 18th century.
Okay.
So later they changed, because they needed pump to get water in the upper floors. And now we're coming to the study of the Emperor Peter the Great. Oak study. Because panels on the walls made of oak. So all these panels were designed by Nicolas Pinot, an artist who created this kind of wood design. Carving this wood was kind of not easy because it's very hard.
It's very hard.
So, but only 9 panels were taken away in World War II. So those panels you can see original darker color panels, but this, for example, this is new by tourists.
It's
There's a difference between newly made and originals. So. And this was a study of Peter the Great, and in the downstairs when we started the tour, you remember in the information stand? You had seen the first palace of Peter the Great was small. 60 rooms only and 2-story building. So in that palace they had this study. And the requirement of the Empress Elizabeth when they built new palace, much bigger than the previous palace of her father. So the requirement was to preserve the room exactly on the place where it was. So this is exactly on the place where was his study.
Okay.
So all the belongings of Peter the Great you can see in this room, in the glass case, the book from his library, and in the other glass case, alarm clock. So, and here's 2 safes. They were of wood and decorated with some semi-precious stones and details made of gold also. So they were like decorated, but they were like safes. And in the corner you can see 2 banners, one of them from the Russian army and another one is from the trophy banner from Sweden. After the war with Sweden, so it was placed here. The idea was to glorify victory of the Russian army over Sweden. Because Russia, as a result of this war, got back access to the Baltic Sea. This was a study, oak study of Peter the Great. That was the last room we had in the house, but we have small investigation rooms. Behind that door there's oak staircase, which was used for Peter the Great. But Peter the Great didn't use much this palace. So this palace was made for the grand receptions, for official kind of formal parties and so on, but he stayed always in his private palace Montplaisir, which is right on the coast of the Gulf Kingdom. After visiting the palace now, we're going to see the park. And maybe you can come also to see his palace over there. On the coast, his private palace. So now we go downstairs.
Yeah.
And here we can take off our shoe covers.